We are joined by driver Carl Edwards, driver of the number 19 Comcast Business Toyota for Joe Gibbs Racing. He's certainly off to a fast start in 2016 with 3 top 5s and 6 top 10s through the first 7 races. Sits 6th on the chase grid as a 3-time Bristol winner and won here in 2014. So, Carl, talk a little bit about your outlook this weekend.
Well, I'm getting up to speed now. This place takes a little while to get going. I mean, it's just so fast. There's nothing like it on the schedule, so it's fun. I think by the time we get through today and tomorrow, I'll be, I'll have caught up with the race car and the racetrack. This place is it's just a lot of fun. We've got a really good car. It seems fast. Our teammates are fast, and so far this season it's been going well. We've been having a lot of fun. We've had some good runs, and we just want to get that first win.
Great. We will open it up for questions. Please raise your hand, state your name and affiliation. We'll start right here with Mike, and then go over here to the left.
Mike Embry, USA Today. We don't have a copy of your schedule. When are you going to win? Are you? I mean, you've had really good finishes and just haven't closed it, right?
Yeah, and that's how this goes sometimes. There've been times in my career where I probably shouldn't have won some of the races I did, and they just kind of came easy. And then right now we've had fast cars and we haven't been able to capitalize, but it's still so early in the season, and there's so many guys that are competitive. You can't really count on anything. Last week I felt like it was going to come down to our team and the 78, and we both couldn't. Neither one of us could get it done. So who knows? But this place has been really good to me, and I feel like our advantage on pit road will pay off here. Hopefully the speed we have in qualifying trim will pay off, and my experience here, hopefully we can get a win.
Okay, over here to your left.
Kyle Magda, race chaser online. Carl, in the last year and a half, can you just talk about how much progress this team has made, pretty much coming up from a startup, and then you go over to the Toyota camp and just produce results that you have? Well,
Coach Gibbs and everybody took, I've talked about this a lot. Everybody took a pretty big chance putting this 4th team together, and I'm representing Comcast and Comcast Business this week, and the folks there were really integral in making this all happen. The deal with Aris and Comcast and Xfinity and everyone came together really so that this was possible with the 19 team. The pit crew's been amazing. All of our work last year and all the work this year it seems to be paying off, and right now it's just fun to be a part of. The whole Gibbs camp is fast, and it's cool to be driving one of these cars.
Thank you. We'll go to Tucker next, then a question in the back, and then over to Claire.
Tucker White, SpeedwayMedia.com. Carl, earlier this morning I asked Chase Elliott if he thought the low downforce package would make much of a difference here. He said he wasn't really sure. Now that you've had some time to get on the track, has it made much of a difference, or is it too soon to tell?
I think it's too soon to tell, and but I believe that the lower downforce has been better across the board, and like I said over and over, I applaud NASCAR for doing it. I think that direction is the right direction, and this place, regardless of downforce, it always has a way of producing really good races. You've got multiple grooves. It's slow. It's low speed enough, but wide enough, and you can do a lot of racing here.
And would the low downforce package also be why you guys have been running the bottom line today as opposed to the top line?
I'm not exactly sure why. I think there might be some slight differences with the Goodyear tires, but probably the best explanation for that, the best reason, the most likely reason for that is that we haven't put a lot of rubber down on the track yet. And it just seems like this place, it moves around a lot. We talked about it in practice. I don't think that the race will be run on the bottom like that. I think it'll really widen out, but I don't know when it'll happen. I don't know if it'll happen today or tomorrow or all the way. We might have to wait till Sunday for it.
Okay, take a question back here.
Well, Casey Getz, WCYB. Can you talk about your initial impression when you came in today and saw Colossus for the first time? What was your thoughts?
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I walked under the screens up there, and I saw a guy up there doing work. I don't know how he got up there, but there's a guy up there, and it's neat. I mean, the fan experience is what this is all about, and all of the tracks have been working really hard to give the fans the best experience they can have, and having that ability to sit here at the event, have your big screen TV right in front of you no matter where you're sitting, that's really cool. So I know a lot of people that I talked to this week are coming down from Missouri and the Midwest, coming down to this race, and I think that'll add to the experience.
Okay, we'll take our next question from Claire.
Claire Belang, Sirius XM NASCAR Radio. Carl, We had a lot of loose wheels tires at Texas, and Bristol's a race of a different kind, just because of the banking. Different drivers feel different ways about vibrations, how much they feel sensitive to it. And teams are really pushing it, as you know, and they're down to 10-second pit stops or something. How do you feel about all that, your particular stance as a driver?
I talked a little bit about it this week, and I really trust my guys. My tire changers and my pit crew guys are amazing. They're the best in the business, and I really trust them. From the driver's seat, the toughest thing is to decide if you have a loose wheel or not. It really is tough, because especially if you're running well, you feel this vibration, and I've done it. I've pulled down for a loose wheel, and they've been tight, and that is just a bad way to ruin your day. So to figure out if you have a problem, it's really it's a team effort. You've got to say, hey, I feel this vibration, and the tire changers say, hey, look, they either feel comfortable with it or they don't. And if they don't, you come in, and if they do, you got to trust them until it just gets so bad that you can't help but come in. But it was really a tough decision.
Okay, we'll take our next question from Bob, then go to Chris, and then Dustin, and then we'll come back over to the left.
Bob Pockers, ESPN. Dale Jr. had a couple of paint scheme unveils this week, and he talks about how much he likes to be involved and what the cars look like, and how he gets, if he didn't like the paint scheme, he wouldn't want to get in the car. It seems strange because it doesn't help the car go fast, but how do you feel? And since you have so many sponsors, do you get involved at all in what they look like? Yeah,
I didn't get to see Dale's. I saw one small picture. It looked of one that looked pretty cool, but I didn't get to look closely at them. For me, my sponsors, the team, and myself, we all work together on that. We have, it's called an approval process. I don't think I've ever turned one down, but I feel like everybody does a really good job. So they'll come up with a paint scheme, and they'll basically send a picture to everyone, mass email, and everyone gets to vote on it or say what they like or don't like. And I think really lately, the last couple of years, I've had some really, really good paint schemes, and I've liked all of them. I know for me as a driver, there are some that I've had that I didn't like very much, but then if the car's fast, it kind of grows on you. So, and it's great. You can't really see them from inside the car that well anyway. So,
Question?
Chris Knight, GetTrends.com. Hey, it's been 2012 since you last ran a NASCAR Xfinity Series car. Is there any desire to go back and run an Xfinity Series race, even if it's part-time, especially with the way that the Joe Gibbs Racing team's been running?
Yeah, I thought about that last week up in the booth. It now might be the right time to jump in one of those cars. They're so fast. To me, though, it's the reason I ran full-time for 7 years in both series was to get the experience and to get every lap I could. And at the time, you had the opportunity to run for both championships at once, and that was really fun. Now, if I were to do it, it would really be to run at specific racetracks that I love. So the road courses in the Xfinity Series are really fun. So that I'd consider running those. If there were new tracks that they were going to, maybe places I hadn't run, I'd really enjoy that. But for right now, I feel like the Cup cars and the Xfinity cars are so different. And I'm learning, Dave Rogers and my new team and all of that still enough that I need to focus on the Cup car. So that's been the way I've made the decision. I haven't seen an opportunity that I just, that I want to be pulled away from that Cup car for. Now if we win here this weekend and there's some neat stuff comes up, I'd definitely consider it.
Okay, we'll take our next question from Dustin, come back to Taylor, and end with Stan.
Dustin Long, NBC Sports. Obviously, there's a lot of talk with your teammate having won the past 2 Cup races. Coming into this event, you've had some times in your career you've won multiple races. You've had a couple times where you won 3 out of 4 races. When you get into a stretch like that, for what this competition is the driver suddenly that much better? Why is it that we saw Kyle win 3 in a row last year? We saw Logano win 3 in a row. You've nearly done it a couple times in your career. What kind of happens in those kind of periods and what difference does the driver make, or how is the driver suddenly so much better all of a sudden?
I don't know. All I know is that at times there have been times where it seemed like we were winning. Do we win the Xfinity race and the Cup race, and then you just win a lot over a period of a couple weeks, like you said, and you wish you could bottle that up and figure out how to recreate it, because it's really fun. It's almost like for me, just feels like you're on this train and it's just awesome. Everything's going great. Not everything you do works, and that's a good time. So the good part about Kyle's success right now is that I'm on his team, so I can see what he's doing. I can talk to him about it. But I don't know. I don't know that there's a specific thing you do. It's just sometimes things are working and things go your way, and you got to be fast too. You got to be there and seize the opportunities. But it really is fun. Right. Well, definitely, understanding the setups and understanding driving styles and being able to talk to people about the way they approach the race is helpful. But yeah, everyone does things differently. And the coolest part for me is to see that, hey, this can be done right now out of this shop with these cars, these TRD engines. And that's the best thing you can have is, someone out there setting the bar. That's great.
Okay, next question from Taylor.
Taylor Starr, NASCAR.com. So obviously you've had some great runs this season, but you're still seeking that first win. Yeah. And Kyle has had those 2 consecutive wins. How does that translate to the number 19 team? You said you've talked. What have those conversations been like?
Well, I haven't talked to him since last week, really. But really, it's about saying, hey, what are things? There's so many things that happen during the race. You got to. For us, last week we qualified well, we ran well, we had one mistake. That's what cost us that opportunity. Now that one was obvious. What's less obvious is when you go to Martinsville, and Kyle, leads that whole race. We struggled through the beginning of the race, and then we got it together at the end. But Martinsville's an example of we're able to go back and look at the entire weekend, compare what we did to the 18, and if we see things that are outstanding, we obviously would change them. If there's things that aren't clear, we can go talk to them, and that's really the advantage to having a teammate like that in that situation is that when something's not obvious, you can go kind of pull it out of them, and fortunately we all work really well together, so I think we're for the most part honest with one another. We give each other good answers.
Okay, we'll take our last question from Stan.
Hey Carl, Stan Creekmore with RPMtonight.com. For some reason or another at lunch today, I learned that last week you donated over $5,000 to Speedway Children's Charity based on what you did at the racetrack at Texas Motor Speedway. What prompted you to do that?
Well, appreciate you giving me the credit for that, but I didn't donate the money. I was just part of the process. So FS1, for me going up there in the booth, they agreed in exchange for doing that they would donate $5,000 to Speedway Children's Charities. And then after qualifying, Miller Coors informed me that this year they had decided each pole that our 19 car gets, they were going to donate $1,000 to Speedway Children's Charities also. They said if we get a 6-pack, they'll donate $25,000. So that's great. But Speedway Children's Charities, for the folks in here that know about Speedway Children's Charities, you know how great it is, and the folks that don't, it's spectacular. It's a team of people that take this money, millions of dollars a year. Bruton Smith and everyone put this together, and they vet all of these charities and make sure that every dollar you give goes to a truly beneficial charity, one that benefits the kids. And for me, for Fox, and for Miller Coors to come on board and do that just out of the goodness of their hearts, that's really cool.
Great.
Thanks,
Carl, thank you very much for your time. Good luck this weekend.
Have fun.